Have you ever just wondered how a simple thought, a little spark of an idea, actually turns into a piece of software that you can use every day? Well, today we're going to gently unpack that. We're going to look at how an idea gets its very first blueprint.
Right? The pretty big question when you think about it. How does that what-if moment become an app on your phone that you just, well, trust? An app that actually works?
So here's the thing. You would never, ever build a house without a blueprint, would you? Of course not. It's the exact same idea with software. And that blueprint, it doesn't start with a single line of code. It starts with a conversation.
Okay, so how do we even begin to sketch out this blueprint? Well, it really all boils down to a kind of translation. It's about turning a simple wish into a really clear set of instructions.
Everything kicks off with what we call a user requirement. And honestly, that's just a kind of fancy way of saying a wish. Think about any music app you use. A wish might be as simple as, I wish I could save my favorite songs in one place. That's it. It's human, it's natural, and it's the perfect place to start.
Now, here's where the magic happens. That wish gets translated into a system requirement, which is the actual instruction for the people building it. So our wish, I wish I could save my favorite songs, becomes something more like the system needs to let a user create a new playlist, give that playlist a name, and add songs to it. You see the difference? We're getting specific now.
This is a perfect example of that exact translation. The wish on the left is pretty straightforward, right? Generate monthly reports. But look at the instruction on the right. It gives us all the details, when the report gets made, and exactly what information needs to be in it. It's really the difference between asking a friend for a cake and giving them a detailed recipe to follow. One is a wish, the other is a plan.
And that's really the first big idea, just taking a moment to turn a simple wish into a clear instruction. It's the bedrock of pretty much any piece of software you rely on. All right, let's add another layer to our blueprint here, because it's not just about what a system does, it's also about how it is while it's doing it. So what a system does, we call that a functional requirement. You can think of these as the verbs, the action words of the system. For a music app, that would be things like search for a song, play a song, or create a playlist. The actual functions. But here's the thing that's just as important, how the system behaves while it's doing all that. These are the non-functional requirements. They aren't about what the app does, they're about its qualities. How fast is it? Is it easy to figure out? Is my personal data actually safe? That kind of stuff.
This slide just lays it out so clearly. On the left, you've got the what, a user can search. That's a function. But on the right, you've got the how well. The system has to be available during work hours. I mean, you could have the most amazing search feature in the entire world, but if the app is constantly crashing when you need it, well, then it's basically useless, isn't it?
So just let that sink in for a second. It's not enough for an app to just do things. It also has to be something. Reliable, fast, intuitive. One without the other, it just doesn't really work.
And that brings us to a really, really important point about this whole idea of quality. Why does this being part, why does it matter so much?
I'll think about it like this. If an app is missing one little feature, you might get annoyed, but you'll probably find a way to work around it. But if that app is painfully slow, if it crashes all the time, or if it just feels insecure, you're probably just going to delete it. A buggy, unreliable app is a broken app, no matter how many cool features it's supposed to have.
Now, to make these qualities real, we have to find a way to measure them. This table shows a few examples of how we do that. Instead of just saying, the app should be fast, which is kind of vague, we can say it should load in under 2 seconds. Instead of it should be reliable, we could say it shouldn't fail more than once a month. This whole process turns these fuzzy ideas into concrete goals we can actually work towards.
So after all of this, what's the simple, gentle takeaway? Well, it's not about memorizing a bunch of technical terms. It's really just about adopting a simple mindset.
It's really as simple as this. First, listen for the wish. Then translate that wish into clear instructions. And finally, always ask both questions. What should this thing do? And how well does it have to do it?
This quote from Roger Pressman, it sums it all up so perfectly. It's not about complex charts or jargon. It's just about the power of taking a moment to think things through, clearly and completely, before we rush into action. A little bit of thought up front almost always leads to a better result in the end. So that's our little look at an idea's blueprint. And I'll just leave you with this question to ponder. What's one wish you have for an app you use all the time? And maybe, how would you start to turn that little wish into a clear instruction? Thanks so much for joining me.